What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video, and today it is going to be the maxed out 4-2-4. As promised, if the previous video got 70 likes, then I am going to replicate it in a 4-2-4, and I'll do the same promise, another 70 likes on this one, and I will be releasing a free back maxed out system, which is going to take a lot of time to make, but I'll do my best. If you do enjoy the tactics, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Apologies if I sound a little bit croaky, I think I got the flu, but the content doesn't stop. Let's get into it. First up is going to be the weakest team in the video. That is going to be FC20. I am sorry for the United fans, but we are going to come out, and it's not a flawless Dutch season. As you can see, 4 draws and 4 losses, but the Dutch Cup is going to be a bit of an easy final. We are going to lift that 5-2 over Willem, so we'll take that any day. And as for the Dutch League, as I mentioned, 4 draws and 4 losses, but if we go to Ajax's losses, we only, well, to be honest with you, Feyenoord should be beating them, but could be beating them. The other teams they lost to, including us, was absolutely diabolical on their end. We are going to have 2 players in the top goal scorers, 1 player in the assist category, 2 players top in the average rating, and when it comes to the clean sheets, it is going to be pretty decent. Joint second with Benitez from PSV, who have got the better team overall. Now, stat-wise, our main aim for this tactic is goals, goals, and shots, and we're doing both. Surprisingly, quite consistent in possession in 3rd place, defensively 2nd place, and 4th, wow, actually down here in 5th place when it comes to the clean sheets. So when it comes to keeping the clean sheets in this league, it was by far from perfect, but as you can see, it means absolutely nothing. We're outscoring everybody, and if I'm right in saying, it is bang on 2 goal difference between the goals we're conceding and the goals we're going out to score. So overall, despite conceding 0.7, say 0.8 a game, we're not phased at all. The Dutch Cup final did offer something quite good, and that is a lot of goals. A 7-goal thriller where we are going to go 1-0 up inside of 14 minutes, and we actually go again here. It's awful from them at the back, and as you can see, the link-up play is beautiful. Really short passing play, a great goal to make it 2-0. Unfortunately, they are going to bounce back, and do you know what? It's good play. Sandra comes in with a 2-1 goal there, but we are going to bounce back down the right, into the middle, back in, into Rots, who makes it 3-1, and at this point, we were very in control of the game, but we make even more in control of the game at this point, as we are going to see a 4th goal coming in, all from a set piece, a very long set piece, it has to be said. But apparently, Willem weren't just going to sit down and take it, as they are going to get a very, very lucky goal. But we have the last laugh with a set piece, whatever that is the most direct football I've ever seen. Go over and test with Atalanta, a team predicted to finish around about 7th place, I believe, in the Serie A. And I will say, apart from the Serie A, it was pure runner-up season. The Super Cup, we are going to lose 4-3 against Real Madrid. The Italian Cup, 3-1 against Inter Milan. The Champions League was alright for Atalanta, but the main part is winning the league, only losing 1 game, that being against AC Milan, who were in 2nd place. Scamacca does Scamacca things. He is absolutely broken in this game. I'm such a big fan of him. If you can put him in the right role, he will bag goals. We've got 3 players here, 3 players here, 3 players in the assists, the most clean sheets, and I would imagine we are obviously going to take home the most goals, the most shots, just shy of 1,000. Possession, again, not the best of the best, but 54% I am going to take. Pass completion, we're actually not even going to be in the top 8, because I will say this tactic is it's not very direct as in long ball, but we are taking a lot of passing risks. So the possession in the default tactic, which this was used in, is not going to have that higher possession, but it is going to have 4 goals a game, 0.68 conceded, over 25 shots, a great pass completion, and pretty much a 2% higher tackle win ratio. So to clarify again, this one was tested with the default tactic. Twente was tested with the underdog tactic version. We're now going to go into the powerhouse, which today is the Mighty Blues. It's going to be Manchester City, and we come out and win literally everything. The Community Shield, we're going to win 7-0 over United. The Carabao Cup, 9-1 over Middlesbrough. The FA Cup, we're going to beat Liverpool 4-0, so again, no complaints there. The Champions League, 3-1 over Barcelona. And the Premier League, we're going to come out and also lift. And what I will say right now is, we lost 4 games and we still had such a big advantage. Erling Haaland, 55 goals. De Bruyne with 24. Haaland, Bernardo Silva and Doku in the average rating. Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne in the most assists. And on this occasion, Ederson is going to dominate when it comes to the clean sheets, sorry. Bloody throat is killing me. Most goals is going to be 159 goals coming in for Man City. The most shots at 886. The fewest shots against coming in at 201. And when it comes to a defensive side of the game, we were absolutely flawless. So what I will say is, the only 2 stat lines that you're not going to dominate with whatever team you're playing is going to be possession possession, if you are playing as a fairly strong team, you can get roughly around 55 to 58% of the ball. We had a decent level with FC20, to be fair, so you don't even have to be a top team, but you're never going to get in the 60s with the attack version, which is what we used here, because it is very, very, very goal heavy. As you can see from the data hub, at 4.18 goals per game, 0.71, over 23 shots a match, a great pass completion, an attacker win ratio going back down about 2%, but considering we won 6 trophies, I'm not going to complain. That FA Cup final, Liverpool did play a full-strength team, and it literally meant nothing because we are going to see Foden go through by himself in the 18th minute and make it 1-0. No action until after the second half whistle, as Foden again goes alone and lashes it past the keeper in the 48th minute. And to be honest, to Liverpool, they were absolutely diabolical. Foden toying with them, making it a hat-trick in 84 minutes, and now it's going to be Gundogan playing it inside into Walker, into Silva, across the goal in a comfortable final. Champions League also had a lot to offer. An early penalty from Erling Haaland, which, to be fair, Barcelona did bounce back with the man in form Rafinha with a beautiful finish to make it 1-1, but this is where we've really come into our own. A little set piece to make it, of course, 2-1, and we wrapped up with another set piece, meaning why you should go and get them. But now, of course, over to your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying back home, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And once again, if you do enjoy rebuilds, do come over to my second channel, because we're posting a lot recently, and a load of you are coming over and absolutely loving it. But to make this tactic, all you want to do is create your own style. It is going to be a clean slate, and of course, we've got to locate the 4-2-4, which we are going to simply load in a 4-2-2-2, and we'll drag out the sort of inside players. Now we've done that, of course, we are going to form this formation. So the mentality, we are going to bump up to positive in the default version, and we are going to drag these players out wide so we can sort of start to understand the shape a little bit. I do want to quickly say today, if you want to get access to all 3 of these tactics in one simple download, you want them on console, you want them on mobile, and all of these other wonderful perks, including rebuild files, access to this month's giveaway, which is £450, and so much more, come over to the Patreon and be part of a team of 5,000 people. There's endless content. Just because FM24 is delayed, we're pumping out content on this channel, the second channel, and both channels push loads of stuff exclusively to the Patreon, and there's also more. But let's go through and talk about this amazing 4-2-4. So the goalkeeper is going to be a sweeper keeper on attack. Now with him, of course, by default, he's always going to be dribbling more and taking more risks. So for me, I didn't really want to have any more instructions on him, so we are going to leave that nice and blank. Now when it comes to the wing backs, they both are going to share exactly the same roles, so the left and the right are going to be mirrored. Both wing backs on automatic, and they both are going to consist of running wide with the ball, getting further forwards, closing down more, and also tackling harder. Now, what I'm going to say again as a little reminder to everybody, to get this instruction on PC, close down more, simply have a clean slate and you'll be able to do it. Essentially, this option is not provided when you go into out of possession and you start playing with the trigger press, so leave it on the default and you will be able to go and do it. So once again, we'll have the same instructions because they are very, very mirrored, exactly the same, as are both of the ball playing defenders, who we are now going to go over and add these instructions on, and that is both going to be close down more and also tackle harder. Now, one thing you learn about this game very quickly, if you haven't already, is that closing down and tackling harder is fairly meta-based. It works in 90% of tactics you're going to play with. If you've got the players that can get there quickly, quite sensible players, good sort of concentration, you're going to absolutely thrive in it. So make sure you are using them instructions. We're then going to go with 2 very risk-free options in midfield, which is going to consist of 2 DMs who are both going to have the same instructions as the centre-backs, which is going to be close down more and also tackle harder. So you're going to see that on the right hand side, and we're going to go and apply exactly the same to the left hand side of the player as well. So that again, so far a nice mirrored backline and midfield. Now when it comes to both of the wingers, they're not going to be wingers. They are going to go with the inside forward, who are both simply going to be set to attack. Now with these players, again, they are going to have a couple of instructions. So on the right hand side, of course, much more often, because we are going to be a trigger pressing system, we're going to tackle harder, and because this is on the right hand side, I want him marking the D in brackets L, because obviously they flip sides, so make sure you've got that on as well. And of course that would mean on the left hand side we're going to replicate it, but on this scenario we are going to mark a position, and it is going to be the D in brackets R. So on the left you mark the right, on the right you mark the left. So literally just flip it and you'll be absolutely golden. And when it comes to the strikers, I had to use my brain a little bit because I was going to go with 2 advanced forwards, and we are going to have 1, and that is going to be, again, close down more and also tackle harder. Definitely not ease off tackles. I was going to have 2 advanced forwards, but I thought, you know what, Josh? In a maxed out system where it's all about press, it's criminal not to have a pressing forward. So we are going to go over and add the pressing forward, who is simply going to be set on the default because he naturally closes down more and he naturally tackle harder as well. So let's have a little look though at how some key players performed in this system. I think the main 4 players we want to talk about is going to be the goal scorers, and as you can see, Bernardo Silva absolutely cooked with 22 goals and 59 assists across all competitions. Now I will say he definitely did stat pad in some of the competitions, but who am I to complain? You then have Phil Foden on the left with 24 and 22, not a fraction of Bernardo Silva's assists, but as we saw in that key highlight game, he absolutely turned up when he had to. De Bruyne, 40 goals and 32 assists. Now, funny enough, he was actually playing in this pressing forward role, or also where sort of Phil Foden or Bernardo Silva was playing. So he actually played a combo of positions. And Erling Haaland, we've seen it on multiple times. I've seen people get 120 goals, so 99 might not even be that impressive. But for me, I'm going to take it with 99 goals and also coming in with 6 assists. That is absolutely incredible. But of course, we're now going to go over and talk about some of them team instructions. So again, we are quickly going to clear this so we can go ahead and crack on, not cluster the screen. We are going to go over to in possession, which is going to be consistent of fairly wide. We're going to pass into the space, focus down the left and the right hand side while playing out from the back. We've got 2 ball players and 2 DMs to retrieve it. It makes complete sense. We're going to be more expressive and run at defense with a shorter passing style, and the tempo, well, it's a maxed out tactic, so the tempo is going to be all the way up to higher. In transition, we're going to counter press and counter, get the ball moving quickly while simply taking short goal kicks. And lastly, for out of possession, we are going to deploy the high press with the higher line, and much more often when it comes to the trigger press, and also get stuck in with prevent short goalkeeper distribution. And that's going to give you the default version of the maxed out 4-2-4. Now over to the attacking version, which scored roughly about a goal extra per game. And the idea behind the sort of attacking version was to obviously keep the same shape. It has to be a 4-2-4, but we have sort of upgraded a lot of the positions. So the goalkeeper does remain the same. The ball players are both now going to be on dribble more alongside of the previous instructions. The wing backs on the right and the left are exactly going to be the same. The volante on the left and on the right, of course, are going to replace both DMs, being more attacking roles in that DM area, both on close down and tackle harder. The inside forward on the right and on the left is an option to add shoot more often. That is completely up to you. For me personally, I didn't. But if you have got players with immaculate finishing, which I could have done with Man City, I potentially would. But for me, I quite like the link-up play they were doing. The pressing forward remains the same, and the advanced forward, he also remains unchanged. When it comes to the mentality, we are going to go all the way up to attacking, and in possession, it is going to be somewhat the same. In fact, it is going to be exactly the same. So we'll take that off. We are going to focus down the left and the right while playing out from the back. We're going to run at defense and be more expressive. The tempo is going to be all the way maxed out to higher, and the passing all the way down to shorter. Now in transition, we've got a bit of, well, one real change. This is going to be exactly the same, but of course it is an attacking tactic. We're trying to get the ball moving, so we are going to look to distribute quickly. Out of possession, obviously you can probably predict the big change. We are going to introduce the much higher defensive line. We're going to get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and we're also going to max out that wonderful trigger press. And that's just going to give you a tactic designed for a little bit more of a powerhouse team, or to switch to mid-game to go and get your goals. Now, for those of you that are playing as underdog teams, or you're trying to seal out a game. That would lead us on to the defensive version of this tactic, and a tactic that is a lot more sensible and definitely designed for smaller teams, and a lot more sort of control and possession focused. We saw with FC20 actually, not a great team in the league, but getting a lot of possession. This is exactly what this tactic will do. The goalkeeper does remain the same, the wing back on the right and on the left, both on defend, on close down, and tackle harder, not getting forwards at all. Both of the ball players exactly the same as the default tactic. Both of the DMs also come back in exactly the same as the default tactic. What you probably have noticed is the inside forward on the right and on the left are both now on support, on close down, and simply tackle harder. An introduction of a false 9 on pass it short, roam, move into the channels, close down, and tackle harder. A player up there to link up the play and basically just control the game up there a little bit better, not as direct, and the advanced forward is simply going to remain unchanged. And mentality-wise, it is going to be all built off the balanced mentality. In possession, it is therefore going to say standard instead of what it previously said. We're going to work the ball into the box on this occasion, play out from the back with no immediate focus down the left and on the right. We're going to dribble less, again, more of a patient build-up. The tempo, well, that's never going to change because of how this tactic is made, and the passing is going to go all the way down to much shorter. In transition, we're going to take short goal kicks, but this time to anyone across the back line. Again, eliminating a little bit of the risk of losing the ball. We're going to hold the shape and also counter press. So again, a big change there, not automatically just going on the counter attack and lumping it forward. And lastly, out of possession, we are still going to go with the high press, with the higher line. Anything less than that, it gets a little bit negative in my opinion. We're going to get stuck in, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also max out that wonderful trigger press. And that's going to give you, boys and girls, not one, not two, but 3 versions of the maxed out 4-2-4. Hopefully you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Again, apologies for the voice, it feels absolutely cooked, but content has to still come out. So we've got this coming out today, we've got a rebuild coming out in a couple days on the second channel. Be sure to go out and check it out. If you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like. I think I've said it, the head's gone. I'll see you in the next one.